welcome to
Sestra-Tainment.
I'm Lenora.
And I'm Dee.
And we're coming to you today in regards to everything entertainment. Yeah. So this week, I am actually going to go first. And I am going to talk about Special Ops Lioness.
Oh, what is that?
Yes, it's on Paramount Plus. And it is a show. The reason that I decided to watch it was because I think the trailer is actually on the Fire Stick, like just on Prime. Like they're showing the trailer for it. And so I saw that it had Zoe Saldana. Zoe Saldana in it. Nicole Kidman.
Okay.
Morgan Freeman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So once I saw those three, I was like, okay,
I'll watch that.
I might need to check this series out. And then it also has David Annabelle. I don't know how he pronounces it, but he is the cutie patootie to me. Like, he is just so cute. Everything I've ever seen him on, he's so cute. He's been on like Brothers and Sisters. He's been on medical shows. He's been like, if you look him up, last name ANNABLE. But he is so cute to me. I don't know. Brothers and Sisters, You May Kiss the Bride, Yellowstone. Something happens to him real early in Yellowstone. I'll put it that way for anybody who's watched Yellowstone. But I am, he's just so cute. So anyway, so that is part of the cast. They also have a girl who plays it's almost like Zoe Saldana and then this other lady, La Sala de Oliveira. She plays a character named Cruz Manuelos. And so she is kind of, to me, more of the main character even than Zoe, but it's like they're both co-main characters, if that makes sense. Then Nicole Kidman plays Caitlin Mead, and she is like the handler. And I'll get into this in a little bit. You have Stephanie Noor Buddenbrook, and she plays Aaliyah, who is basically... Let me start with this because it'll help to explain things a little bit. So the whole series is about a special ops group that is trying to, in the military, that is trying to infiltrate ISIS. Okay. So that's kind of what it's about. So the ISIS leader that they're trying to get in close to is Aaliyah's character. Okay. So, all right. Yeah. So anyway, you have Morgan Freeman. He's like, whenever you're in trouble and you got to go amongst like the people and talk and have to explain what happened and why somebody died or whatever. He's one of those like council members or government officers that, will cuss you out and spit you out. So, you have Michael Kelly. He's been in a lot of stuff. He was in the one, what was the name of that show that I loved and I watched on the one with Kevin Spacey and Robin
House of
Cards.
Yeah,
House of Cards. Yeah,
so
he was in there as Kevin Spacey's right hand man. So he's in this. So they've got a lot of decent characters, of course, and people in this particular series. So again, it's on Paramount Plus, and basically it's about CIA operatives and what they do. This group called Lioness, they actually recruit female soldiers so that way these soldiers can get close to wives, daughters, family members of some kind of the main target, which in this instance is ISIS and the people who are doing terrible terrorist things in the world, not just in America, but in the world. And so in the show, they focus on the threat that, is going to be coming, from different people, things that they've heard about or know are happening or things that they just know. Look, we know that this person's cut different people's throats or, killed people from the back of their head and did all these different things. So they watched videos on it. Like, they just know, and they're trying to
studying.
Yep. Study it and figure out, okay, what's going on? Who are the main players and who do we need to get somebody close to? So Cruz's character, they go through her story, and she had a rough life. Her mom and dad have passed away. She has a brother who's passed away, or maybe she doesn't even know who her dad is. She has an abusive boyfriend, so he's beating her and treating her like crap. She's been a stripper before. Like, it's all this stuff going on, and so she's trying to fight back, and one time she does, she just decides she's leaving, and she hits him across the head with a frying pan, and she's just like, yeah, I'm out. So she runs down the street. She's running, trying to get away, and he's getting closer and closer to her, and she busts through a Marines recruitment center. So he follows her in there, and the Marine is like, what's up? Like, you want to fight me? If you're going to put your hands on women, put your hands on me. Let's see how this goes. So the guy, of course, he's a punk, so he leaves, and then she's just in there crying and, like looking all like, what in the world? And he was like, basically later, like, so have you ever thought of the military? Because did you do that to his face? Because if so, we might need women like you.
Yeah, right.
Kind of thing. Like who
recruiting.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, she didn't seem like she was really interested, but then lo and behold, she was. And when she took the testing and all that to get in, she like blew everything away. Like, she was just amazing. Great numbers. When she actually got into basic training, because I guess of her tough background, she was just able to stand everything. They were like, these are the women's pull-ups, so you have to just hold yourself there for this long. And she was like, well, I want to be in the line with the men. And they were like, why? And she was like, because I can do as many pull-ups as the men can do.
So I can do everything
and
the guys can do. Yeah.
They were like, all right, recruit, go ahead and do it. And she did like double what the men could do, like to the point that one of the guys was like, if you keep doing what you're doing, then you're gonna be my boss one day. Like, so he was just like, this is amazing that a woman could do that. And so he was kind of like then her cheerleader and helping her basically to get into this Lioness program. Like, he talked her up. It was like, I think she's got what it takes to join that special ops group. So then she had to kind of prove herself to another guy, and lo and behold, she's in there. And so basically, Zoe's character, Joe, has to come and meet her because they were like, yeah, this is a perfect woman for you. And she was like, I don't know about that. Let me see her. So then she goes and sees her. And because of some other things that have happened in the past, she's like, you can't have any tattoos because you're going to be with ISIS. And because of religious beliefs, you can't mark up your body. So get naked in front of me. Like, I need to see everything and make sure that you don't have any tattoos. So the girl's like, whatever. So she's like, all right. Anything else you want him to see? Yeah. Like, what's up? So she was just like, okay. And I think she kind of liked her. So she was like, all right, just get dressed and come on, let's go. So she takes her into the program. And basically, they're just supposed to work under the radar, build relationships to get to know different people in ISIS. At the beginning of the show, unfortunately, Joe has a scenario where her infiltrator got found out, and then you have to figure out, how does she handle that? What does she do when your person is hiding and is talking to you through like a satellite phone? Like, my cover's been blown, blah, 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 blah.
God, what do you do? That person's
exactly.
gone.
So then you go through, okay, do I sacrifice everything? Send out the choppers, go do whatever, bomb over here so that way you can save her over there, or do you sacrifice her? Yeah. And you just say, if all of the people standing right over top of her military trying to kill her, then let's go ahead and... but that's the question that you're like, what in the world is she going to do? Like, when she has these tough
what is she actually feeling?
Exactly.
Not what is it that the company wants her to do.
Right. Yeah. And it's like, and is the decision that she makes one in which the government, the special ops, the CIA, everybody is like, yes, that was a good decision? Or is it where they're just like, nope, maybe not?
Exactly.
So, but they're always going rogue doing stuff, too. I've come to realize while watching this series. So
I feel like all of them do. Like,
So now, mind you, she's married with kids. She ain't never home. She is always, like, her husband is like, so where are you going? She's like, I can't answer that.
I can't tell you. Yeah.
So then he's a doctor. So he's dealing with kids with cancer.
Who's watching their kids? They have a nanny?
And so he's a doctor. She is always gone.
So that means he's always gone. Do kids raise
He's pretty much gone, but he's kind of a super dad. Like, he's usually there for dinner. He's trying to do everything.
How old are the kids? Are they young?
There's teenagers. There's one like 16.
Okay, so they can take care of themselves.
And then the other one's maybe 10 or 11.
Yeah, but they can take care of themselves. And you can watch your brother.
And then they do say, such and such is going to come, or they're staying at their friend's house, or, things like that. But then the daughter who's older, her and her mom, it's crazy tension. So yeah, so there's that, because she's just like, I need you. I can't have certain conversations at this age with dad. I need you as my mother here, that kind of thing. And her mom is like, look, and they can't know what she does. So the kids just think she's a translator.
Yeah.
They have no idea that she has to go with a gun every day.
This sounds like, I feel like I watched a documentary that was similar to this, and it was an older lady that was talking about, she worked for the CIA, and she was talking about how, like, nobody in her family ever knew what she did. Her husband thought that she was a banker.
Gotcha. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
That you just have to do all these things. So her husband, from what I understand, has an inkling, because at one point during the series, he meets Nicole Kidman, like her and Nicole Kidman walk up. And I was thinking, oh, he doesn't know that this is her handler, you know,
exactly. He doesn't know anything
feeding
about
her information and telling her what she should be doing. And so, but he gives her a hug and he's talking, and then she pulls him to the side and is like, look, like, and it's just like, you got to continue to hold down this fort, because we really need her and she needs to stay focused. And she'll get so mad. Like if he texts her or call when she's getting ready to go into a mission, she will
absolutely
rip him apart. And you just feel bad, because you're like, this dude is holding down everything.
I know.
And here you are, like, what in the world?
So let me ask you a question.
She's like, she's thinking too much of her family to go in and be focused.
So here's my question. When she got the job, did she discuss with her husband, hey, I'm going to be gone a lot? I got this new job. I'm gonna be gone.
I have no idea.
So
they don't even
show
go into the backstory of them coming together. Like, was she already in this? Did she become in this as they grew together? I'm assuming she was already in it, and he knew what he was getting himself into. That's what I'm assuming. But I don't know, because he does know more. He doesn't know everything. He has no idea where she goes. He has no idea the actual intricate details of what she does.
He just knows that she does something sneaky.
And even Nicole Kidman's husband, like, he knows some of what she does, and that she works for the CIA. But then he has a very important job too in Washington. So therefore, it's like, well, I'll give you something if you give me something. Well, I can't really tell you anything. But if I could, you might want to watch the news at 11.
So it's like,
and it's like, you know, that kind of thing.
They want to barter.
Exactly. So, but anyway, so the girl Cruz, after she's gotten fully, and I mean, indoctrined, like they got her. Yeah, she's been through some things. They finally put her to where she's going to see Aaliyah, the daughter of an ISIS leader.
Oh God.
So that way they meet in this jewelry store, and she's all dressed in like expensive couture, and the girl is always spending her daddy's money in a jewelry store and all of that. And they just happen to like bump into each other and just start talking. And she was like, oh, you're American. And she's like, yeah, I'm American. And she said, my uncle is who's here. I was in America with my mom. I was born and raised in Boston, but she wants me to come here to find a husband.
Okay.
Because that's what people do. So she was like, oh, funny you should say that. I actually got placed with my husband. We're getting married, you know, in a couple of months or something like that. So then they started a conversation, and then her old friends are like, oh, here you go, finding another wounded bird that you want to take care of. So I guess they knew that was her personality to like meet people who are more timid and, you know, whatever. So anyway, that's when everything goes haywire. I'll just put it that way. And this all is like, everything I've talked about to this point is probably the first 2 episodes.
Is it a lot of action?
8 or 10. Lot of action, a lot of blowing up of stuff, a lot of fighting.
Okay.
Like,
so it's
this
like
girl is
what's his name? Michael Bay?
Yeah, it's like something serious. So, but yeah, so you have everything. You have, you know, the personal stories of the characters. You have lies, deceit, love, mother-daughter drama, husband-wife drama. You know, can people trust each other? What about teamwork? What about sacrifices? Like, it's all those things kind of wrapped up in one. So it's a lot of moving parts, but I felt like it was really good. At the very last episode, I feel like it kind of was a little anticlimactic, just a little bit, really? Not a lot. But I was just like,
is it a miniseries, or is it like it can be renewed?
It's like 8. Oh no, it can be, but that was the other thing, is like they didn't even end it in a way that I know for sure it was left hanging.
Yeah, but then also it's a writer's strike, so
series, right?
So it might not even happen because it's still a writer's strike.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. But yeah, so that's kind of where it was. It just left. And then, like, even I was talking to my friend Toby. Shout out Toby. She was just like, oh, I saw that. That was so good. She was like, but I wanted to know what was going on with this relationship. What happened with this husband and wife? Yeah. What was going on? And she like was like, I wanted to know the personal stories.
Everything about everybody. Yeah.
Where it was like, no, this was more about... was the mission completed or not?
Okay, yeah. So it's nothing. It's all work.
It's all work.
It's all work.
It had a bunch of stories. Personal stories were so entwined, but
it's not,
the closure wasn't about the personal stories.
So they had stories for each, like for individual people, but there was nothing personal that you got a lot of information about other people.
Zoe's character, you got a lot more personal information about, and you followed not only her, but like her husband having delivered news about a kid who had cancer and how the parents react to that. And then the daughter and her acting out because her mom's not around. Okay. Then the other daughter, is she a sweetheart or is she a little jerk? You know, so it's like all these little like scenarios that are going on Zoe's family or Joe's family. But then for Zara, or I guess Cruz, because she was playing two different roles, it was like the beginning of how she became so tough, and which she had to fight through and things of that nature. But then it kind of just became her relationship with Aaliyah, the person that she was trying to infiltrate, and how she maneuvered her way in. Okay. So, yeah. So, anyway, I thought it was pretty good, though. Special Ops Lioness on Paramount Plus.
All right.
Yep, there you go. All right. What you got?
All right. So, what I want to talk about is the movie The Flash.
Oh, yeah, The Flash.
Yeah. So, the movie The Flash, you can watch it on Max or you can rent it from Amazon Prime. But so the movie, I actually liked it. Liked it. I know it didn't really get a lot of good reviews, right? But also I was thinking it was because of the personal things that was happening with
the main character.
Yeah, with Ezra Miller. So
do you think that our listeners know what was going on?
Oh yeah, Ezra Miller apparently has been grooming young girls and stuff, and he's like punch women and stuff like that. So he's not a good person, or he's been portrayed as not a good person.
Yeah, allegedly. That's what we have to say. Allegedly.
Shout out to Mikey P. All right, yeah. So, but the storyline. Well, let me give you the cast. So you have Ezra Miller as Barry Allen, the Flash. You got a guest appearance from the Michael Keaton, playing Bruce Wayne / Batman.
I need to watch that just for that moment.
Yeah, you got Sasha Calle, I don't know if it's Kaye or Callie. You have Michael Shannon playing General Zod. Ron Livingston, who is playing Henry Allen, who is Barry Allen's father. Who else is really good in this? I mean, it's a lot of people. I'm not going to go into everybody because there's a lot of people that you will know from other Marvel movies, you know, stuff like that. But so to break this down, I thought it was good, but I feel like it did take a couple of movies and mush them together to make one movie.
Okay.
So with that, I'm going to say that it was the butterfly effect.
Okay.
And the Spider-Man multi-universe one.
Okay. So it was a little bit of both of those.
Yes. And this is the reason why.
They're a whole different thing. There's no multiverse in this, right? Flash is at DC?
It's DC, but they talk about the multiverse.
Oh, okay.
That's what it's like.
Every superhero has a multiverse. Is that what it is?
I guess so. But it's a multiverse, but it's also not a multiverse. So Bruce Wayne breaks it down. Well, Michael Keaton's character breaks it down better than what I could actually be able to explain it. Okay. But it's basically when I go from let me start from the beginning.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I'm asking questions.
So, you got the Flash, and he is talking to his father and everything. You know, his father was in prison for killing his mother. And he was like 10 years old, and then they have a flashback of him seeing that and everything. So, and he knows that his father is not guilty. He knows his father's innocent.
Full disclosure, I've never watched a Flash a day in my life. Continue.
Okay. Yeah, he knows that his father is innocent. The reason that he knows his father's innocent because his father was at the store when his mother died, and when he came into the kitchen, his father was like dropping the bags, holding his mother, grabbing his mother, like you know.
Like he just walked in and saw it.
Exactly. Right? So at the time of the murder, it was like a whole thing. With the father being at the store, they have the camera footage, and this video camera footage actually shows him there, but he has his hat on and his head down reading stuff, so you can't see his face.
Oh, that it's him.
Yeah, so you can't see his face, that it's him. So that's how he ended up being guilty. Yeah, that's how he ended up being guilty. Now, so what the Flash wants to do is, I can't remember what ends up happening. He's talking to Batman, and they're talking about, like, he's talking to Batman, the Batman that we have now, Ben Affleck.
Oh, okay.
So he's talking to him, and he's just like, "Hey, like, I can run fast enough to make time go backwards, kind of like how Superman does."
Going around.
He's like, "That's dangerous. Let's not do that."
Okay.
What does the Flash do?
Does it?
Let me go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
He was like, because now I can make my dad innocent.
That far back, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
He goes back to 2013.
Okay.
To 2013, him and stuff like that. But the thing is while he's doing that, while he's running backwards, it looks kind of like how they have the multiverse on Spider-Man and how Doctor Strange does all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because they can slow down what they're seeing and be able to go into that time to change things. So they can pick and choose what time they're going into.
But then you change everything going forward.
Yeah. So so it's like
Marty McFly.
Like Marty McFly. So that's why I said it's like the butterfly effect, because what happens is once he goes back to Barry Allen, that is now, I don't know, like a teenager, still in high school or whatever, this kid doesn't have any powers. You know why? Because he doesn't know he has powers. Because you've changed the trajectory of everything.
Yeah.
So now that he's gone back and changed so much stuff that now it's like... And that man told him, "Hey, bro, look, when you do this, don't change nothing. Because as soon as you change something, it's going to affect everything."
Everything going forward.
He's like, I'm just going to change this one little thing. But that's where I get the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Within that movie, it was like, if, what was it? If a butterfly flaps his wings and it's a tsunami in like, the West Coast or whatever. So... it's kind of like that when it comes to that, because he changes one little thing, but it changes everything. And what Michael Keaton ends up saying, and to break it down to him, he was like, "Hey man, look, because he ends up going with the other kid Flash,
Okay.
the other kid Barry Allen. So the two Barry Allens, the 2023 Barry Allen, the 2013 Barry Allen."
Okay.
They're hanging out together, and then it's like, okay, well, you can go back. And now they're going and they're talking to Batman, be like, "Yo, we're trying to like fix this." General Zod, that's from where Superman's from.
Okay.
He is the villain, so he's the villain for this. And it's like they find out that he is coming, and now he's like, "Yo, we have to find Batman. Batman's going to help us defeat General Zod." Then it's like, but then we also have to find Superman, because Superman knows all of his powers and everything, because they're from the same planet. Yep. So now it's like, okay, look, you understand that Michael Keaton's like, so you understand that when you change one little thing, you don't just change the future, but you also change the past. So he's like, it's going into different multiverses that you are affecting
it's like a fork
things.
in the road.
Yeah, he's like, you're affecting things. So it's like you're going into multiple universes because of the fact that you change this one thing. So what you know is now something different. So that's where the multiverse comes in with that.
So was Michael Keaton the Batman because he changed something, or was Michael Keaton
he went back to
the Batman of 2013?
He was 2013 Batman, but when he goes and talks to him, he was like, "Yo, what's going on?" Michael Keaton looks like raggedy, so he like the Wayne Manor is all it was not dilapidated, but it's all grown over and everything. It looks like nobody lives there. It looks vacant.
Gotcha.
So when they go and like see him, they're just kind of like, "Yo, what's going on?" And he has long hair, he has a big beard.
Oh wow!
And he's still talking to him like regular. He's not like insane or anything. But he was like, "Hey, look, you know what happens when you have Batman and Superman together? Crime stops."
Gotcha.
So
I ain't had nothing to do.
I'm bored. So basically that's what he says, and then that's when he like breaks down everything. So they're trying to talk him into going and help, like, "Yo, bro, we gotta defeat General Zod. He about to come and like destroy this place."
Right.
So now he's like, all right. So then he shows up. Then what happens? Then they end up going and fighting with what is her name? Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman.
Okay. So where was Superman in this? Was he in this?
They have to go and find Superman.
So which Superman is it?
So this is a thing. So I don't want to give it. I don't want to give
sorry.
I don't want to give all that.
Don't give it away. Don't give it away.
But they have to
those
go.
Are the kind of questions.
They had to go and find Superman. And Superman was in a whole nother country being held captive.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I can't remember what country it was, but I want to say it might have been in the Middle East.
Okay.
But so they're going to, get Superman. Well, Kal-El was the name, because they don't call him Superman. That's Kal-El. And it ends up changing some things, and then now Zod is fighting with everybody, fighting against everybody, and like people are dying, and then it's like, well, I can go back in time and change this so we can keep doing it until we figure it out how we can defeat him.
But then you're changing things going. It's
so much.
Multiverses.
But then what ends up happening is you'll see at the end of the movie what ends up happening when you keep doing that over and over and over again. So they do touch on that, on what exactly happens with that.
I have to watch my first Flash movie ever because of the fact that this sounds pretty interesting.
It's pretty good. That's why I was like, I'm surprised it didn't do better in the box office.
Yeah, but it's probably
it's probably because of him.
So everybody's like, I'm not even going to see it to know that it's good.
Exactly. Yeah. But so that's basically what it is. But I mean, I like it. I'll watch it again. Okay. I would definitely watch it again. So like I said, it is The Flash. You can watch it on Max or you can rent it from Prime.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
What's your next one?
So my next one, I think I'm just going to go straight to Hot Topics. I know I sometimes leave that to the
okay.
end.
And then I'll go to Hot Topics after this then.
Okay.
I have a topic.
Oh, I have like 4.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying that my last thing was going to be a hot topic.
Oh, okay.
It's just going to be about some drama.
So I'm going to cover some rest in pieces. Well, not rest in pieces.
Rest in pieces.
It's rest in peace.
I'm about to say rest in pieces is a store. You know that?
No.
Yeah, it's a store.
I didn't realize it was a store.
It's a taxidermy store.
Oh my gosh, that is horrific. Okay.
Yep.
No.
Shout out to Gam Gam.
A rest in peace for 2 people. Because if you try
in
to
memoriam.
make it plural,
in memoriam.
Yes, in memoriams. So one was for Jimmy Buffett.
Yes.
So Jimmy Buffett passed away.
Going on to Margaritaville.
Yeah, Margaritaville. And owned a lot of Margaritaville stores all over. I mean,
when we went to Mexico, we saw them.
Mexico.
Right
Jamaica.
at the airport.
It's everywhere. Well, you have, the bar.
The bar was
outside
the airport. As soon as you walk out where everybody's trying to get your attention, it's like, no, come over here to Margaritaville.
Get the Margaritaville drinks. But also there's even Margaritaville resorts. There's Margaritaville. It's like everywhere. And like I said, Jamaica, and there was a Margaritaville. I'm sure it's Miami.
Oh, yeah. It's like a
everywhere.
Senior Frogs.
It's like Senior Frogs. Exactly. So he actually was born in 1946, passed away on September 1st, so not long ago, in Sag Harbor. He was born in Mississippi, Pascagoula, Mississippi. Okay. He was 76 years old, and he passed away from Merkel skin cancer. Merkel cell skin cancer. He's had 2 wives and 4 children, and he, actually has a album that's coming out in November that he had worked on, which was going to have 3 new songs on it, one of which was going to be with Paul McCartney. So they said that the first release was supposed to be coming out, and that one I think will be the one with Paul McCartney, and that was already kind of planned before he even had passed. But he passed away in his home, and they said that, it was peaceful. So rest in peace to Jimmy Buffett. The other rest in peace was to Steve Harwell from Smash Mouth. The front man for Smash Mouth, lead singer. He passed away at 56 on September the 4th due to an acute liver failure.
I didn't even know he was 56.
Yeah. So they said he was surrounded by his friends and family and passed away peacefully and comfortably. He was in hospice, actually. So he had been really sick. And from what I did, because I kind of looked and said, well, what creates acute liver failure? Like, is it too much drinking? Is it whatever? And they said it's very rare.
Is it like
and that it can
hepatitis?
They didn't say. I didn't see anything.
I want to say it's like
that,
hepatitis C or something like that. Or it's like for liver.
Okay, yeah, I didn't see anything that specifically spoke to that. They just said that it can sometimes happen for people who overdrink, but it also can just happen just because, like, it could just be the way that your body just responds. Typically is the acute liver failure, but it does still create the jaundice and things like that and everything. And I know sometimes people can get liver transplants because the liver can regenerate itself. That's one of the few things in the body that can, but I guess at the stage at which it was discovered for him, it was just too late for anybody to be able to do that. Little did I know that he actually had a beef or something with not a beef, but he was like picking on DJ Khaled about something. So you can Google it. I'm not gonna talk about it.
Okay.
But yeah, so it was like, oh well, DJ Khaled said something, and he was like, well, okay, whatever. So anyway, so he was very vocal. They were very vocal for pride issues. The group has been very vocal for just different types of issues that have come up over the years. I wasn't quite aware of how they have just been like really and like putting things on Twitter or Instagram or whatever about their beliefs and everything. So I thought that was pretty interesting. The other thing is Danny Masterson. So I don't know if people are aware of him, but he played on that 70s show. The one who had the lamb chops on the side. Yeah. I'm trying to remember what his name was on the show.
I can't remember. It wasn't Michael.
It was a weird name.
It was, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what Mila Kunis used to yell at him.
Yeah, it was like, I can't think of what his name was. But anyway, so, but he actually, and I'll see if I can look it up. He was recently found to be guilty of rape of two women. Yeah. And well, there have been 4. Oh, Hyde. That's what they call him. Stephen Hyde.
Hyde. Stephen. That's what you call Stephen.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I know this. So anyway, so he actually had been charged, arrested, all of that back in 2000. Arrested 2000. Went through some court cases, things like that. 2022, he was found guilty. So now it's coming up on sentencing. Mm-hmm. And so basically they had stated that Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher, as well as the father on the show, the mother on the show, all these people wrote statements to the judge to say, all right, even though he has been found guilty, we feel like he's a good person. Ashton was like, he's the reason that I didn't become, addicted to drugs and all of that, because he was always so level-headed. Everybody's like, he's like a big brother. He's nice and he's kind and he's sweet.
And also a rapist.
I know. That's the thing. But people did write a lot of letters to the judge in the defense of him for the trial. It started last October. And the first one actually resulted in a mistrial. Okay. This one did not. He was found guilty.
How long did he get?
And so after the judge got all the letters and people, saying all of these different things about him, and it was for 2 of them. So 4 women came forward, but 2 are the ones that he was found guilty of. I don't know if the other 2 were a part of this case, or if it was that as this came out, they were like, oh my goodness, this happened to me too. And that's when it happened. And so 30 years to life is what he got. 30 years to life. They said he is not getting any special treatment. The judge basically said he wasn't going to get any special treatment, and there are consequences to his actions, and that he would need to at least, I think you have to, in those instances, serve at least like 80% of the sentence.
Oh, is he going to federal prison?
Like that.
If federal prison is, you have to serve 85%.
Maybe that's what it is.
At least 85%.
They just said he'll be in his 70s before he gets out.
Yeah.
And so they are going to appeal. Interestingly enough, Leah Remini, she was actually at the case. Uh-huh. She was sitting with the victims. She basically was like, I guess after everything was over, just put something on Instagram or Twitter or something to say, glad that justice was served and that, we have to believe women, kind of things basically. So, but so that was definitely something. I mean, number one, I didn't even know this case had happened. I didn't know anything had gone on.
I vaguely remember seeing something like on social media, but I don't remember anything about the case. I think I remember somebody saying that like he was a rapist. And I think that was it. I don't remember. I don't remember anything about the case though.
Yep, I hadn't heard a thing until them saying what the judge said that the sentencing was going to be. So I didn't know that he had a case. I didn't know he'd been arrested. I didn't know that he had been found guilty. Like I knew nothing until recently, like literally in the last 48 hours, that something had actually happened. So I was like, that's interesting. Maybe there's other people that didn't know this, so I wanted to cover it. Yeah. And last hot topic that I have is is it Paque Chip? Paque Chip. So they're pulling it off shelves.
Yes, I know one. Yeah.
And it is because a young child, I guess you would say 14 years old, ate the chip and did it at school, I believe they said. Did at school, and he ended up passing away.
Yeah, he passed out at the school.
Yeah, passed out.
And in the ambulance, he came to and then passed out again at the hospital and died.
It's like, wow. Yeah. Like from the hotness. And for those that don't know of the Paque, what'd you say? Paque Chip. It is a 1-chip challenge. So, and that's what he was doing at the school. They were like, oh, it's a 1-chip challenge. So you did it, actually.
Yeah, I did.
So, we might need to put that on our Sestra-Tainment YouTube
No,
page.
they're taking it off the shelves. Why would you want to put it on the shelf?
Because you did it before all of that. Like, you did it a long time ago. And people are talking about it.
So we're going to redo it?
No,
I thought you were saying like
no to put your video. Remember, I took a video of you doing it. Oh my gosh! So I was saying to take your video of you doing it and putting it out there because you've already done it, not to encourage people to.
Yeah, I thought she was like, you can do it again. I was like, wait, this kid just died. No. You trying to kill me?
I am not.
You got life insurance policy on me? Oh,
maybe. No, I'm just joking. But no, so that is that's what I was trying to say. But anyway, so they said that this is a really dangerous chip to eat because it can cause GI issues. It can create damage to your esophagus.
Oh, absolutely.
It can create burning through your stomach. And so they have decided that they're going to pull it off the shelves. But again, I was getting ready to go through that.
But this one was hotter. This is the new chip, correct?
This was the newest one. Is it hotter?
It's supposed to be hotter. Yes. It's supposed to be hotter, I believe.
Yeah, so the way that this works, for those of you who have never heard of Paque, I hadn't before, like seeing something.
Well, the box that you buy it in is a coffin.
It's shaped like a coffin, and it has like the Grim Reaper on it.
That's your warning.
Yeah, and so, but people, anyway, so, and people are like, oh, a challenge, sure, I'll do it. Yeah. So what happens is it's a box that's shaped like a coffin. It has the Grim Reaper on it, or something that looks like a skeleton, basically. Like a burning hot red skeleton. Yeah. And then what it is that you open it up and there's like a sleeve that literally has 1 chip inside this sleeve. Yeah. And people will use gloves to actually open it and take out the chip. Now you could use your fingers, but the thing is if you accidentally rub any part of your body, probably your eye, put it in your mouth, your nose.
You go to the bathroom.
Woo. It's going to be painful.
Yeah, that's going to be bad.
So therefore, you have this 1 chip, and then it has instructions and a whole thing, and it tells you this is serious. Yeah. Be careful. Like, this is dangerous. Like, it tells you, like, this is extremely hot, basically. And the chip challenge is for you to eat the chip and wait 5
I don't know if I think it's 5 minutes. Yeah.
To not drink anything. So that's the challenge, is to eat the chip.
I don't know if it's 3 or 5 minutes. It's like
I feel like it's 5.
Yeah, I don't know, something like that.
But to eat the chip and not drink anything, water, milk, whatever. Because, you always see the wing challenges, and they're always doing...
Yeah, but I say, because they have the hot ones, the hot ones on YouTube.
Yeah, the bonnets, Scotch bonnets.
Scotch bonnet isn't hot.
Oh, well, what is it called?
It's Carolina Reaper and the ghost pepper.
Yeah. And I think that's what they said this chip has. It's Carolina Reaper and ghost pepper.
Which I believe both of those are genetically modified peppers.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, because I feel like they make them and there's like, oh, it's a hot pepper. It's like, so we just automatically just found this hot pepper.
Right,
all of a sudden.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's in North Carolina. Get out of here.
So I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah. But so anyway, I just wanted to share that the chip challenge, of course, if you find the chip, if you have the chip at home and you've been thinking about it, whatever, just
say no.
Do it. Because, you've experienced it, so tell us your experience.
But I didn't experience this one, though.
No, but I'm just saying in general.
The one that I ate, because
I think they're taking all the chips off.
Oh, they are? Okay. So the one that I ate, so I've eaten, I've bit into a Carolina Reaper before. Okay. And I've bit to a ghost pepper. Well, I've had a sliver of a ghost pepper. Okay. So I have had those, and it's hot. Mm-hmm. It is hot.
It's like eyes running.
Yeah, I remember. I did do with someone, with some people at a restaurant that I worked at, we did eat habanero peppers. And that was hot when you eat the whole pepper seeds and all. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was super hot. Your mouth is on fire. You start like all the spit that's in your mouth just wants to leave. So you start drooling. You're tearing up. You're sweating so bad. Your eyes are watering. Like it's pretty bad.
It's painful.
It's pretty bad. And you just
yeah, but then that feels like it's bringing colder
yeah,
air.
it's bringing cold in. Yeah, it's making it
even more. I just know that I touched a corner of it.
Yeah.
And I touched my lip, and it felt like a razor blade was slicing my lip.
because it was so hot.
I mean, my tongue. When I touched my tongue, it felt like a razor blade was literally slicing my tongue.
Yeah, it's hot.
And I said, that's enough for me.
Yep, I'm done.
Just touching the corner of it, and then I immediately went and washed my hands. So, it's dangerous. So, keep that in mind. If you have one, probably throw it away.
Yeah.
If you want to do the challenge and you don't have that super, 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 super hot one.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
I would say it's a one chip challenge, but no, make your own rules.
Yeah.
Break a piece off.
Yeah, who needs to eat the whole
when like when you buy like cleanings products, and they always say test a small area.
Yeah, test a small area. See if you can handle a teeny area, and if not, then keep it moving.
You know what?
One girl, they was showing a video of her giving it to her 80-year-old dad, and I was like, "Are you crazy?"
God.
And she was like, "Oh, taste this chip, Dad." And it was like they broke it in half, and he just put it in his mouth, and then he was like, "Oh my God, that's so hot! It's so hot!" And I'm like, "Why would you do
killed
that
your
to
father.
somebody?"
You could have killed your father.
So don't do that. Definitely.
Yeah, don't just surprise people with this.
No,
that's
too serious.
That should be like something you should be able to sue somebody over.
You might be able
if
to
it burns your esophagus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But all right, so that's what I had. All of the hot topics. So you said you had one as well.
Oh yeah, so I have one, and I wanted to talk about this today anyway.
Okay.
So DJ Envy and Tyreese, they unpacked their rocky relationship, and this is on The Breakfast Club.
I have no idea who these. I mean, I know who Tyreese is, but
DJ
is he the one who's on The Breakfast Club?
Yes,
okay,
yes.
I didn't know they had a beef. Maybe that's what.
This is what ends up happening. I'll give you the backstory, and then I'll let y'all listen to some of the things that were said.
Okay.
So the backstory is DJ Envy years ago was caught cheating on his wife.
Oh.
And he was just like, I want to make things work. His wife was like, I'm not dealing with this no more. I'm done.
Okay.
And this was actually like, I guess she had caught him cheating quite a few times. And she was like, this is it. I'm done.
This is it. I'm out.
And he was talking about it on the radio. And he said, I did something stupid, which I shouldn't have done. He was like, I put my business out there, blah, 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 blah. So Tyreese heard it. And Tyreese calls him. Tyreese calls him. Hey man, you good? What's going on? He does and Tyreese doesn't really know him. He's just like, yo, that's a dude from the radio that I've kicked it with a couple times. Let me make sure he's good. And Tyreese kept saying, God put it on his heart. God put it on his heart. So I was like, okay. So he was like, God just put it on my heart to, come and talk to you. So he talked to DJ Envy, and he also talked to Gia, which is Envy's wife.
Okay.
And he was trying to help them out, and he's like, hey man, look, if you really want to get her back, so what you do is you make sure you get a babysitter, clean the house,
do
all this stuff,
that
and
women
then
would appreciate.
And then he said also you get a hotel room. And he said, get the penthouse, whatever you got to do, get the biggest whatever, and you deck it out and flowers and everything. He said, and I'll come and sing to her.
No, okay.
He was like, while y'all have dinner, I will serenade y'all while y'all have dinner.
Okay.
Just to try to help y'all out. And then he was also I guess he was a mediator for them.
Gotcha.
Okay. So
I didn't know he had that skill.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Okay.
So then he starts talking about, which I didn't even know anything about. He talks about how, he's like, I did all of this for you. He was like, but why is my divorce so funny? And he was just like, what? He was like, I understand y'all got a job to do. And Charlamagne was like, you don't mean that. You don't mean that. Because if we have a job to do, we report what's going on. So he was like, you don't mean that. He was like, no, I know y'all have a job to do. He was like, so then why are you here? He was like, I'm on an apology tour. Whatever that is. So I feel like Tyreese is looking for apologies and saying how he feels about stuff. But looking for a different response. He's looking for his response that he wants, but not the response of how these people feel. Because what he ended up doing was he said he was on psych medication that ended up having him do crazy things. And apparently he called DJ Envy and Charlamagne and cussed them out. He had sent some text messages to DJ Envy's wife. And DJ Envy says, yo, for real, the stuff that you sent to my wife, I should have boxed your mouth. Yeah, so they get into it. So I'm gonna play a little bit of it. So you'll be able to
this
hear.
is the recent conversation when he said he should.
This was like 2 days ago.
Okay, but no, I'm just saying this wasn't what they had talked about right after he had sent it. This is, or like, how long ago did this stuff happen with his wife? Him and his wife.
Oh, it was some years ago.
Okay, that's
it was
what I
some
was
years
thinking.
ago.
But he's having this conversation now about I should have.
Yeah. But then he was like, but why weren't you there for me? And he's just like, because I just told you, you said some disrespectful stuff.
Yeah, you were.
And he was like, but you knew it was because he's like, you knew that I don't act like that. You knew it was because of the medication I was taking. Blah 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 blah. He was like, yeah. He said, and then that's why I just backed myself away from you.
Yeah.
He said he was like, that's all I did. He said, I just backed myself away from you.
Right.
He said, I didn't do anything else. He said, he was like, if you listen
put your
to
business out
yeah,
there,
he said that this is the news. He said Charlamagne was the main one talking about it. And he was just like, big ups to, Tyreese. I hope everything goes well.
Okay. So he's saying he wasn't laughing.
Yeah, he's I mean, like, I'm pretty sure they made some jokes about it, but he was just saying, like, because the whole thing was Tyrese's wife supposed to be a gold digger, and that was the whole thing.
Well, and they weren't even married long, right?
I don't think so.
I just remember them basically saying that Tyreese is getting married, and I saw a picture of her, and then the next thing I know, it felt like 3 weeks later. I mean, I know it wasn't.
Yeah,
but
because I think
they
got kids together and stuff like that. So yeah.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
No, he has a new girl now, so whatever.
Got it.
So let me play you some of what was said. Okay.
Part that I don't appreciate about Envy is when Tyreese divorce comes across your head.
Third person? Okay.
Where's that same heart and love that I extended to you that you could extend to me, instead of it just being paper pushing and this is what Tyreese is on the gram again.
That's
and
exactly
it's
what he
like,
did.
okay, that's expensive.
She's talking about
That's
Charlamagne.
my brother.
Envy can't sing though. No, Envy
can't.
never
Dude,
does
shut
that
up,
though.
man. Why is everything a joke to you, man?
I'm not joking.
Why is everything else serious? Well,
that.
every on-air personality, blog, podcast, whatever, they got a job to do. They're going to say things for clickbait, ratings, this and that. But when you have certain people on the radio and you've developed some type of relationship with them, everybody go through things. But why is my marriage funny? Why is my divorce just something to talk about?
Perfect.
Where
Because
is
you're a
the
celebrity.
outrage?
Good conversation. Let's put it all out there. Go ahead.
Where is the call? You good, Reese?
All right, so this is when he goes into it.
Preacher tells you something in church, right? Then you look at the preacher's life and you say, how do you teach me something that you're not doing? I don't respect the preacher anymore.
Oh shit.
I respect the message and how it came. But you know what I've been through, and you know how I changed as a man and as a person. And you were there for it. You was a brother for it. But then when I look at my brother and saying what he's telling me to do and how he's telling me to live, he's not living that way. I don't respect it. And then when we talk on these private chats and has nothing to do with the public, just having to do with who you were and how you speak and how you talk about the people next to you, I didn't respect it. To the point where I blocked you on my chat because I didn't want to see Tyreese as that. That's not the man that was my brother.
Let's shoot Bell because I think this is a great conversation.
Let me fast forward this so you can hear this, what Tyreese ends up saying.
How convenient? Yeah, how convenient.
So, let me get back
I
here.
just feel that way.
But to this point, I took a step back because I didn't know what you were going through, and I tried to talk to you, and I seen who you were, and I didn't even like who you were online. And to my point, I tried, and when I seen how you were talking this way, I said, I'm going to take a step back.
And you know when me and Tyreese had a conversation.
How convenient? Yeah, how convenient. Yeah, when the way you were talking, the way that you were.
How convenient. I step back.
What you mean?
So that was just thinking like Tyreese was just.
So he came onto the show. This is psychology.
Yes.
101.
Yes.
Psychology.
Oh wait.
degree where I
Oh
think
well.
I'm a
Also, what I
therapist.
fast forward through, what you didn't hear, where he keeps saying, "Well, God put this on my heart." He said, "I didn't even know you. I didn't even know your real first name was Rashad." He said, "I didn't even know you." He said, "God put this on my heart for me to do, like, help you and your wife with this situation." And then it was like, so why are you being like, God asked me to do this, but then also at the same time, you're like, why didn't you do what I asked you to, like, do the same thing for me?
What this teaches me about Tyreese is that, again, psychology, 101, that he is a quid pro quo type person, which is if I do something for you,
you gotta do something in return.
then you are supposed to do something for me. There needs to be reciprocity.
Yeah, I got you.
So therefore, it's not necessarily that I did this because God put it on my heart and it was out of the kindness of my heart. It was that, hey, not that he intentionally went into it knowing that something was going to happen in the future with his wife or whatever, but it was more like, if I do something like this and something happens to me, the Breakfast Club probably going to leave me alone.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Of the fact
because
that
they know me.
I
helped out DJ Envy. He ain't going to talk about me.
They ain't going to talk about me.
Bro, you're a celebrity. That's what they do.
That's what they do.
That is their entire job.
So it should have just been, if you did it out of the kindness of your heart, number one, then why are you sending these messages? Why are you doing all these things?
Exactly.
However, I understand he's saying, look, it was the medication I was on. Did you apologize for that?
So that's why he said he's on the apology tour.
But that was years ago. Why are you on the apology tour in 2023?
Maybe he just got his life
messages.
Right now. Well, no. I'm still. I don't know about what the other stuff, the text message stuff like that. I don't know when all that happened. I just know I don't know when he was on the psych meds and was acting all crazy. Apparently, he was putting some stuff up on social media.
Yeah,
and was talking all crazy and was talking down to people. I know that him and The Rock did have some issues when they were making all those furious whatever movies. They're on 75 now.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like if you're doing, I mean, I could be wrong. I have no idea, but I do feel like it's one of those scenarios where, okay, now that I am regulated, I guess is the best way to say it. I don't know what the right terminology is, but now that I am in a place where I'm like, okay, I'm better. I am at a stage in which now I know that I am aware of the error of my ways.
Yes.
Let's put it that way. Then you do the apology tour, and it's whoever I told whatever to.
Exactly,
have you gone on there and said, look, everybody, you may have seen some things from me in the past 2-3 years.
Yeah, I don't know if he did that or not.
Across a certain way. That was not me. That's not who I am. Exactly. Apologies to anybody I offended.
Facts.
And whatever the case may be. And then you start your apology tour. But I mean, if you need to, if you feel like you need that, but it needs to be your apology tour. True. Not your apology tour to then have other people apologize to you
for when you were acting like an a-hole.
Right, exactly.
That's what you want,
It's my apology tour. What you do with that information is not my business.
Yeah, exactly.
I am focused on apologizing to you because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, but
if you accept it, great. If you don't, I have now a clear conscience because I know that I did and said everything I could to try to repair this.
Yeah.
If you want to, great. We can have additional dialogue and conversation.
If not, that's cool.
But you being like, oh, how convenient. How
convenient.
Exactly. So then it's like, wait a minute, hold up. So you anticipated that you were going to go and that other person was going to be like, oh, yeah, and I'm so sorry, too. And apologies for me, too. And that would make you feel better, but then you didn't go in with the right intent.
Exactly. You went in looking for something in return.
Exactly.
So that's not a genuine apology.
But I can't say I'm surprised. I mean,
I can't say I'm surprised either. I mean, shoot, I think that he is the reason that was it TGT? The group Tank, Genuine and Tyreese. I think he was the reason that
Tank talked about that.
Tank still talk about that. Yeah. Because Tank still talk about that.
Yeah, that was because
they had to do like a live thing in like Good Morning America where they were supposed to be singing. It was like, we don't know the song,
right?
We just got the song 2 days ago.
And Tyree's like, no, we got this.
We got this.
And then you get up there and look like Bubba.
Yeah. And then Tank was like, and you see me back there, just playing the piano, looking at them, and now hitting the notes that they are missing.
Oh my god!
So that was just
Tyreese is
problematic,
smelling himself.
He's problematic,
feeling himself, and has an extreme ego for sure. It seems like. I mean, he might be a nice guy. I don't know. I used to actually follow him a long time ago on social media, and he came across as a decent guy, but. I think that, when you get a lot of fame, especially very quickly, he was in a Coca-Cola commercial.
Yeah, I was about to say, isn't that how it started?
It started from him being in a Coca-Cola commercial and his smile.
Yeah, and his
he
smile.
was singing.
Yeah.
So he
Because I feel like
smile,
I feel like
they said,
was.
you need a record.
I feel like they was going back and forth with him and Tyson Beckford of like who was the sexiest guy. Do you remember that back in the day?
Where is Tyson Beckford?
I don't know.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to Google him. All right. But yeah, so no, but that's exactly it. It was.
But he does go on later on to be like, all right, so wait, I just we got this out and cleared the air. I don't want to talk about it no more because I don't want to get like you to get angry. He's like, bro, I'm not angry. I'm just telling you exactly how I felt. Yeah. He was like, yeah, we don't have to talk about this no more. He was
because he realized he wasn't getting what he went there for. So
So he started to get aggravated. So that was definitely a thing. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be clowning him. Charlamagne was super funny throughout the whole thing. Oh my gosh! Because he probably knew this man gonna come in here looking for an apology.
Mm-hmm. And the only reason that
Charlamagne said he even had to tell him to S his D because of the stuff that he had said. Wow. The stuff that Tyreese had said.
He texted him or said to him directly when they were doing the whole thing to both of them.
Because he had something that he had said to Envy. And Envy was like, yo, you see this? And then like that. So
got it.
It's just stuff. A lot into that. So definitely check that out if you want to get all that drama that you are not a part of. It is
rich people problems.
Yeah, rich people problems. It is the Breakfast Club. You can catch the podcast or you can watch it on social media. I believe it's still on YouTube as well. So check that out. And they are very entertaining. I love listening to that show.
Yeah,
I wish they didn't have as many commercials though.
Oh, well, that's how they get paid.
Yeah. And they are now with BET. They used to be with Revolt.
Oh, yeah.
But now they're with BET. So now it's like, catch the Breakfast Club with BET.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well,
so,
good for them.
That was that. All right, so what do you have next, ma'am?
So I have next and probably last something very quick, which is Buc-ees.
Buc-ees.
In South Carolina.
Yeah. Shout out to Florence, South Carolina.
Yeah, Florence,
welcome to Buc-ees.
South Carolina. So my sister and I and some other family members went down to South Carolina for a wonderful family
First
event.
of all, let me start this off.
Okay.
With my sister didn't know what Buc-ees was.
I did not know. Okay, let me put it this way. So I'm at work. Somebody says, hey, what are you doing this weekend? I said, I'm going to South Carolina. You got to go to Buc-ees. That was what came out their mouth. First thing. And I was like, Buc-ees. And I said, wait, is that the B-U-C? I thought it was two C's. B-U-C-C-E-E or something like that. But I think it's just the one C on one side and whatever. And I said, it's got a beaver. I was like, that thing? And he was like, yeah. You got to stop by there. He said, it's like a Walmart and a Cracker Barrel. And
it literally is.
And a bunch of gas pumps.
Yeah. They got grills and rocking chairs and everything.
It's like, it's got a whole bunch of gas pumps, and and I was like, okay, sounds fine. Then you were like, we're going to have to stop by Buc-ees.
Yeah, you was like, all right, so we're leaving such and such. I was like, all right, cool. Can we stop by Buc-ees? She was like, somebody at work just
saying something about Buc-ees.
And I was like, yes, like, because it looks amazing.
Yeah, so you had seen it on TikTok and different things like that, right? Okay.
I had seen it. And I was just like, so when I first originally seen it, it was during the pandemic. And I was like, I want to go to Texas just to go to Buc-ees.
Buc-ees, right, yeah.
And this one was huge because this one did look like a Walmart Supercenter.
Yeah, it's huge, yeah.
But I mean, it looked like they took a Sam's Club and put a whole bunch of gas pumps in front of it. Okay. So you see how big a Sam's Club is. It's something like that. But yes, it definitely made me want to go. I was just like, look at the things that they have there, and it's fresh food.
Yeah, right.
Fresh,
totally made fresh
food.
Yeah. So wait, but we got to talk about it. So we're going down there, and so right before you get there, it's like
by the way, normally, I'm asleep in the back seat.
Oh yeah, she's knocked out sleep.
Absolutely.
So there is normally, people looking for south of the border that lets you know that you're in South Carolina, right? So, but now you're starting to see signs that say south of the border and Buc-ees.
And Buc-ees, yeah.
So you're just like, oh, how many miles to Buc-ees kind of scenario. So Buc-ees is now the destination location. South of the border looks so sad and pitiful. It has for years though, but it looks south, just sad and pitiful. So then you get to where you come up on Buc-ees and it's like a nice way to get off the exit. Yeah, exactly. And it's like an amusement park. park entrance.
Yeah,
and
yeah, exactly.
It's all these different
That
ways
poor
to
Taco
get in
Bell,
there
though.
and all that. Yeah, poor little Taco Bell to the side. So right beside it, and
There's
nobody
nobody
goes
there.
to. But
I was like,
you know
oh,
what?
poor little
On
Taco
Sunday
Bell.
when we were coming
Yeah,
back,
I did
it
feel
was
it.
so packed in Buc-ees
Yes.
that
Oh,
people
my God.
actually were going to the
It
Taco
was
Bell.
like a club in there. Every time you took a step, you were bumping into somebody.
Bumping into people. It was
We bumped into our own family that left an hour before us.
yes, in Buc-ees. Yep.
Inside of Buc-ees.
Yep. And
Didn't
it
y'all leave
was
an hour before us? Like-
and it was overwhelming for me. I was
Yeah.
like, I'll see y'all in the car. I'm getting my stuff real fast and I'm out. So therefore, but when you go in there, they're like, welcome to Buc-ees. And you have a little beaver on the outside.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the
and then
building,
yeah, and
which I
then the
didn't even
beaver was
see.
walking around taking pictures
Yep, the
with
beaver's
people and
walking
the kids
around
and
in the
stuff.
little outfit, taking pictures, all of that. I got a little selfie. I snuck one in.
Yeah.
You have 100, 200, I don't know what it was, 125, 150 gas pumps out front.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's gas
absolutely.
pumps for days.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was like rows of 4 and then another row of 4.
yeah.
So it was like
So you can
a
get
lot.
you can get 2 cars and
2
like
cars
and
back
underneath
to back,
each awning
underneath
you can
the
get
awning,
yeah.
and it was a long
And it was 2 rows of
that
that.
would have probably been a quarter mile. I don't know.
Yeah, but I said
And
because
then-
when I looked, I was like, "Oh, that one says 37," and I looked over, and I said, "That says 206."
Yeah,
Like, what
I
the
don't
heck?
know.
Yeah, I don't know
if
how
that
they
was
did
how
that.
they
Yeah, I don't
numbered
know
it
how they
officially
numbered it.
or not. But yeah, it was insane the amount of gas pumps. So I said it's like an amusement park. It was like Wally World.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's like Wally World. So then you go in, and not the Wally World that people call Walmart.
Walmart,
I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about
The Wally World,
Yeah,
yeah.
from the National Lampoon's Vacation.
Yeah.
So therefore, you go in. It's insane. So they're welcome to Buc-ees. Then you hear people fresh brisket.
Yeah,
And you're
yeah.
like,
Oh my God. What
in
is
D-World
that?
is happening?
And then you go over, and then like the people are like, yeah. So he's like, fresh brisket, yeah. And like
And then,
everybody
yeah.
in the background is like, whoever the manager on duty is,
I
apparently
don't
yells
know.
this.
And it was
then
like
everybody else is like, yeah.
hot brisket coming through.
Yeah, yeah.
Hot brisket coming through. Like
Yeah.
everybody repeated the exact same thing that
Yeah,
the first guy said.
It's
And
kind of
then
like,
whatever.
it's kind of like when you watch a movie and you see them always be like, yes, chef.
Yes,
chef.
exactly.
It was like that. They were just
Yeah.
repeating back what he says.
Then
It's
there's
like,
people
yeah.
yelling free samples, and
Yeah.
it was like insane. It was like you're at an auction.
Yeah,
And so I
exactly.
was like, what is
25, brisket,
Yeah,
brisket, chicken,
Yeah,
sausage.
exactly. So then they have everything stacked up. So it's freshly made. They cut the brisket. They put the
Yeah.
sauce on it. They put it there. You don't get anything made to order. It's done.
And that
so
goes so fast.
It goes so fast. So it's like all the sandwiches. So you could have brisket. You could have sausage sandwich. You could have turkey sandwich.
Yeah.
You could have a brisket sausage and turkey sandwich.
Yeah. You
can
can have the chopped brisket, or
Yes.
you can have the
the
sliced brisket.
Then you around the
They
bear,
had the pork.
have-
They had the pulled pork.
Yep, you had pulled
They had
pork.
the chicken
if you wanted
sandwich.
to do that. Yeah, there were so many options.
Yeah, yeah.
Then you could go around the other side, and it was fudge.
Yeah, it was
so
all
it was
the-
like
all the
all
fudges.
the different and you could get samples. So I ate like 3 samples, and then I decided to go ahead and purchase the fudge. So that was good. Then they had a whole trough of jerky, like
Yeah, yeah.
you know, where
Yeah,
you could
yeah,
just
yeah.
go and stand in line and decide what type of jerky
Yeah, yeah,
you actually
exactly,
wanted
yeah.
to get as your jerky. And then they even had danishes and things like that
Yeah.
over there. They had a whole wall of just drinks. Then they had the
and
whole
like so, like where you get the jerky from was literally like if you go to the deli counter.
right. Yeah, like
Yeah.
a deli counter.
Yeah, it's
right,
like a deli counter, yeah.
But they have the gloves on, the hair nets, and they're
Yeah,
just pulling
exactly.
jerky out of this tray to give you jerky.
Yeah.
Then they have like the Cracker Barrel part, which is like all of the clothes, and
They
you
had-
can get Buc-ees everything.
Why were they selling grills outside, and why were on the inside were they selling the
didn't even
daggone,
see that. What
Oh
is
yeah,
it?
yeah. On the inside, they were selling like they were selling like portraits. You could buy a picture. You could. They had
Like a pitcher of beer. Like
no,
a
no,
pitcher?
no. I
Oh.
mean like a picture.
Picture in a frame.
No, I mean like a picture with like a cup set.
Oh,
This was like stuff for your home.
Uh-huh,
And I
gotcha.
mean that's what the Cracker Barrel part is because I'm like, is that a dress?
Yeah, they had dresses.
They had
clothes,
Columbia
hoodies.
clothes in there. They had Hey Dude shoes.
They had Ray-Bans.
Everything.
Playing cards. They
Yeah.
had games for kids. They had everything.
They had the big giant Jenga box, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, how much is this?" I am not spending
Spending that
$100
much money.
and
Yeah,
some dollars for
exactly.
that Jenga.
So it
I
was
could build
everything.
that.
It was like
Yeah, yeah.
two sections of just
Absolutely,
a
yeah.
bunch of stuff. And then on the other side was everything like your chips, your sodas,
Yeah.
your whatever's like, you know,
Candies, all that stuff. Just like
all
a regular,
And
like,
then they had
Wawa
a section that was
sheets,
fruit.
some of that.
Like that was like
Yeah,
a,
yeah.
like a
Oh
Wawa
my
in the
God,
middle
yeah.
that had
That
the
the
fruit.
fruit, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and if
And
y'all don't know
cheese
what
with
Wawa
whatever.
is, Wawa is a gas station that is like
Sheetz,
everywhere.
Wawa's,
Yeah,
all
but I mean,
stuff.
our listeners aren't going to know what that is.
So anyway,
it's a 24-hour gas station.
Yeah, 24-hour gas station, but it was definitely much bigger than that.
They had like different sections. So it was one section that was just all kettle corn, which their kettle corn was really good. Should have got more bags, but it was just all kettle corn.
Yeah.
And then the other section was just all hot sauces.
Yeah.
And then it was like all rubs, all dry rubs.
Wines.
It was like all
one
wines.
section with the wines.
They had one section that was just candy that you could buy, but each candy was like it's like old school candy. It would be like the sharks.
Yeah,
the gummy sharks. The Coca-Cola little bottles.
Oh, that you
see
could
those?
suck out
The wax,
Coca-Cola, the wax bottles.
Those they had Pixie Sticks, they had Sweethearts, they had all those, but it was Buc-ee brand.
Yeah.
It was all Buc-ee brand.
So everything's got a Buc-ee brand.
Yeah, they have
cups,
that. They have they do have a wall of prepackaged jerky.
Yeah.
So apparently, if you go to the one in Texas, the wall is like half of the building.
Oh my gosh,
that's jerky.
Yeah, I don't think people in South Carolina would eat that much jerky.
Yeah, no, but I mean, there was a lot of people looking at the jerky,
Yeah,
but then also it was like traveling.
jerky.
It's a lot of travelers. It's also like a truck stop.
It
That's what
literally
looks like.
is. Yeah,
it looks like a truck stop. But the only thing is, it says no trucks. So no trucks will be there.
Tractor
So
trailers can't go there, but buses can. Buses of people can go, but not tractor trailers. Yeah.
But they did have like a roundabout right on the other, like at the end of the building, so you could be able to leave. And from there, like, it was like some warehouses over on the side, but there's where you saw people parking their trucks.
Yeah, they would park their trucks further away and walk.
Exactly, and walk.
But
over.
anyway, so that was our Buc-ee's experience.
Yes.
Can I tell you, it was a whirlwind. The day we went down to South Carolina, which was a Friday, it wasn't as much. It wasn't as crazy as it was on Sunday. Sunday was
ridiculous,
insane.
But then also when we went down Friday, it was during the day. It was earlier in the day. You know what I'm saying? When people are at work.
I mean, but what I'm saying, I guess people could be at work, but it was like Friday. By the time we got down there, it was maybe 2 or 3 o'clock. Maybe 3 o'clock. Yeah. And then coming back, it was probably 1 in the afternoon on a Sunday, something like that.
Yeah,
but
everybody was in there with church clothes and everything. You know,
it was a lot. So just be prepared. But I would highly recommend.
Absolutely, it is an experience.
Check it out if you go through Texas. It's born and raised and created in Texas, but it is spreading like wildfire.
Absolutely.
So, all right, everyone, that's it for Sestra-Tainment. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.